Hello everybody and welcome back to Workers and Resources. Apologies, it's been a few weeks since I put a video up. I did record a couple of videos which have gone in the bin due to a number of reasons. Now the main reason is I wasn't feeling very well. I've had quite a bit of a headache over the last few weeks, which has resulted in me now wearing glasses. I've been and had my eyes tested because I was getting some really severe headaches, and it turns out my close-up distance is deteriorated a little bit. My long distance is perfectly fine, but when I'm working on the computer and things, I have been squinting a little bit trying to read stuff, especially small print, especially vehicles. The vehicles are 60 to 80 mile an hour ones, so like that does 80. I couldn't read that before. I could only see, I couldn't tell whether it was a 6 or an 8. Same with these, the 6s and the 8s looked identical almost, and I really couldn't tell the difference with them. But now I've got glasses, I can see them. Anyway, that was one reason. Like I said, I wasn't feeling very well. I was very tired and I had a headache. And the commentary on the video, I've been playing it back, and I edited one of the videos. I had nearly 5 hours worth of footage for the time lapse, which is just way too much. And I edited one of the videos and I played it back, and I couldn't understand half of the things I was saying. I was mumbling that much. And I know a lot of my viewers, English isn't their first language, so if I can't understand myself, nobody else is going to have a chance. Like I said, I did record a couple of episodes, but I haven't actually got a great deal done. I replaced a few of the houses over here that I didn't like, the blocks of flats. I fixed the school, so that is now reflecting and lighting up properly. I also fixed the lights on this, and I got rid of that Renock, which is just a food hall. The reason being is that I couldn't provide enough meat to get to both here and here without chucking loads of trucks on it. I've also upped the storage in this one to 3 ton. Now then, like I say, I've made a few alterations around here. I built the stadium, which is Lexar's. I think that was on one of my recordings. This is ace, I love this, but it does take a long time to build, and it takes up a lot of materials, a lot of steel in it. It looks great at night time and everything. I love the posters, love the work on this. Yeah, this is fantastic. It is a bit of a frame killer when you've got it open though. So yeah, we did a block of flats here and a stadium. I also built some of Lexar's greenhouses. I've got 3 of them here, the medium and the 2 small. Apparently this is medium. The large one he can't get to work properly, so God knows how big that is. It must be like twice the size of these. But these take up a lot anyway. They use up to 265 workers. And they produce 13 tons of grain crops per day, but they use chemicals and coal and power. Same with these ones. So 10 megawatt per hour, that's a lot. So yeah, they are quite hungry, but they do produce a regular supply of grain without having to have loads of fields everywhere, which is handy. Although I'm not going to build them like this again. Like I say, it took hours and hours and hours to build these things. The only other thing I've done is I've built a road out here, and I've put a couple of my small oil refinery and a chemical plant down here. That's all I've done. In 2 episodes I managed to get just those few bits and some roads upgraded, and these roads took me hours and hours and hours, and I've not even finished. I've still got most of Pedansk to upgrade, so it's becoming a bit of a sort of drag and a bit of a nightmare, and everything's getting jammed up on this main road, so I'm not happy. As you can tell. I want to redo things. I want to start again. I could quite easily just carry on and, you know, keep upgrading a bit at a time, but because this is so sort of thin and I'm having to send my trucks quite a long distance, building anything at a distance away from the storage yards and everything is really problematic. Sorry if you can hear my dog whinging in the background. Yes, there's fireworks going off, so if my dogs start barking, I do apologise. It just seems to have gone quiet for 10 minutes, so I just wanted to do a quick recording. Yeah, I want to redo things. I want to start again, and I think I might start on a new map. This map is great and all, but it's actually quite hard. And if I was to start again on this map, I would do things differently completely. Yeah, I think it's easier just to begin again rather than try to fix everything, because there's just too many things wrong. I can't keep enough people in the power station, even though I'm getting them from here. There's a bus stop there. They're only coming up to here, but I can't keep a constant supply of people in the power station. That's not working properly. Everything keeps breaking. I keep running out of meat and food at places. Stuff's getting backed up. I haven't got enough roads. And the developers have announced that they're going to be upgrading the factory connections. I've changed mine. Mine are no longer bright yellow. I've changed them to grey. Just because I hated that bright yellow one. It's only a file. It's only one file in the main game folder. It's easy enough to change. But yeah, we're going to have new factory connections with forklift trucks on, so you'll be able to do storage to storage and have multiple connections going round. So it's going to make things a lot easier. But it also means that I need to rebuild absolutely everything, and I don't want to do. I don't want to rebuild everything that's here, because it'd mean dismantling things and taking things apart and breaking things and, you know, upgrading and money and what have you. Yeah. So I did build a little bridge over here. My small oil refinery, my small refinery is one that I'd modded. It was the plastics factory. So I changed the colour of the tanks, changed the colour of the brickwork slightly. It now consumes 10 tonne of oil and it produces 5 tonne of fuel and 3 tonne of bitumen. So that's handy. It's a lot cheaper to build than a big refinery. However, it's not cost effective to have multiple ones of these. A full refinery will produce will use 250 tons of oil, and it will produce, I can't remember off the top of my head, 125 fuel and 75 ton of bitumen. So to equal the same amount of production, you need 25 of these, and the amount of power and workers you would need for 25 of these would be far more expensive than having a big oil refinery. So the idea behind this is for starting out early game, or just to provide one sort of regional area with enough fuel. This, I've got however many trucks on here. I've got 5 trucks on this, just picking up fuel alone. I've got 2 carrying the bitumen. I've only just upgraded it. I did have it at 5, 2.5 and 1.5, but it wasn't enough. It was too little production. But even with 5 trucks on there going around these stations, I mean, they're covering, there's a station here, there's like 3 or 4 over this side, there's 3 over this side I think they're covering. And I could put another couple of trucks on there easily, so it should cover about 10 stations depending on the distance. So the idea for that is, rather than having one whacking great big refinery, you can have a couple of little regional ones here and there, just to make it simpler and a little bit cheaper. What else was there? I don't think there was a lot else really. these flats. I like these. Modded school and large kindergarten that can hold 300 kids, near 400 maybe. Yeah, just these greenhouses. I've got them supplying the biofuel plant at the moment, which this was struggling because I wasn't getting anywhere near enough crops. That's something. I want this biofuel plant linked up to a farm directly. I don't want to have to run a truck back and forward because it's just not. It's not productive. But I didn't have that when I built the farm, so this is the problem with when mods are coming out, because there's so many mods now. I want to go and do things differently again, and when the new factory connections come out, I want to go and redo all the factories. We've also got the ships coming, we've also got the cable cars coming at some point, we've also got the one-way roads coming, so between forklifts, one-way roads, cable cars and ships, that's 4 new things that are coming that are going to change things quite a lot. All 4 of them are going to change things a lot, and I don't know when they're coming out, that's the thing. But the factory connections one especially, I hope that's going to come out soon. I think they did say within a week or 2, but he also said the ships are coming soon. They're just working on polishing them. I did actually tone these down because they were a heck of a lot brighter. Far too bright in my opinion. They stand out like a sore thumb. Same with that gastronome with big bright blue windows on it all the way around. I've toned it right down so it doesn't stand out. It's not so ridiculous. I'm not having a go at the mod maker. It's a nice mod. I like it. You know, could have done with a bit more meat storage because there was only 1 ton in there, but I've upped that a bit. I want to work with sort of warehouses and delivery points a little bit more as well. So yeah, the problem up here is oil. I tried out those pipe connectors. There are some pipe connectors on Steam. I've unsubscribed from them, otherwise I would have shown you them. I've taken them off. The reason being, they're a nice little connector which are cheap to build, but the problem is they don't have a footpath or a road connection. And if you put 2 of them, like I've got 2 pumps here because the pipes are too long, if you put 2 of them like that, you can't build them from the construction offices, nor can you build the pipe in the middle. You can build the pipes from the factories, but you can't build in between the pipe connectors. You have to pay for them. And if you're producing your own steel, you don't want to have to go and pay, especially if you're starting on hard money, you don't want to have to go and pay for loads and loads of steel, especially if you're making your own. I mean, I know I'm not making my own at the moment, but the plan was, because all the oil's up here, I was going to run some really long pipes into things and use the pipe connectors. But if I can't build them and I've got to pay for the whole thing all the way, it's no good. And I did leave him a comment. I know he's not an English speaker, so I'm not sure whether he understood me completely, but his answer was basically, yeah, you can just pay for them. And I was like, well, that's not the point. The point is I want to be able to build things with my construction offices, which is how I play the game. I want to use my own manpower, and I don't want to be having to pay for stuff unless it's completely necessary, and that's not completely necessary when we've already got things that we can use that work. So I deleted them and unsubscribed from the mod because they're no good. They're no good. It's sort of excuses that they won't burn down and that you don't need to connect roads up to them, but it's like, yeah, but some of us like to play with building our own stuff with our own materials. You know, we don't all play on unlimited money or on easy money, you know, some of us play on hard money, and it's like we have to take into consideration what we're spending money on. Can't just go around buying anything that we want. if that's the way you want to play the game, that's the way you play it, but it's not the way I play, so you need to cater for all users, really. I mean, I understand that some of my connections are a little tricky to get connected up. That three into one engine transfer is a little awkward, but that's down to the model. It's nothing. It's not because I can't be bothered adding something to it. Which in that case with this, you just can't be. I mean, I could have easily gone and added a road myself, but it's not my mod, and you know, if I'm having to alter other people's mods all the time, I don't want to be doing that. I don't mind changing the colours of things if I'm not too keen on the colours. If you just need to change the emissive, just change the lighting a little bit, I don't mind doing that, because that is really down to preference. That's just down to taste, whether or not you like them, and it's your own personal preference. So that's very subjective of whether the lights, but things need to function, things need to actually work, otherwise it's no point having them. Speaking of mods, I'm going to go and unsubscribe from several of the mods I have, mainly because I'm not going to use them, but also because I've now got 6 pages of mods and I can't find a blinking thing whenever I'm looking for anything. I'm going back and forward through these pages trying to find little things. I have tried to make mine a little bit more visible. Like, I've just done these bus stations. They're the same as the vanilla bus stations, except for the traffic can drive through them. So they drive through bus stations, small one and large one. They are exactly the same as the vanilla. There's no difference, except for, like I said, it will allow any vehicles to come through. You will still get traffic jams if you've got several buses waiting to get in. They will still queue on the way in, but things can get past once they get moved. So I've made these logos nice and easy to see. I did alter a couple of my other ones, but they're not the clearest. But a transformer, it's got a guy holding a lightning bolt. My biofuel one. I've got another one somewhere. Oh yeah, my small refinery's there. So I might alter them again a little bit. I want them to be able to stand out and noticeable, so you can just look at them and see what they are. Because like, looking at all these little pictures, you can't always tell what things are, and you like this. Is this it? Is this it? Is this it? Is that it? No. Is this what I'm looking for? And a lot of things are written in other languages. Like, I mean, where's those? That's got some monuments and things. Parking. See, this is a good symbol because you can see what it is. And this, construction offices, I can tell what they are straight from the thing. I like the way this looks. It's easy. You can just see it and just go straight to it. This bus stop, nice. So this one needs to be a little bit better. This is mine. I need to make that a little stand out a bit. But there is like these Leningradka. I don't know what that is. Kultura. I know that's a cinema because I've been and looked at it. Projects. Yeah, there are houses. Gastronome, I know, is a food place. Polyclinic. Oh, that's a clinic. But these are Leningrad. I don't know what a Leningradka is. You know, there's others. There are some others in there as well. So I want to go and get rid of some of these ones that I'm not going to be using. I want to. Oh, great tooltip. Go away. I want to reduce that number down quite a bit. There are some fantastic mods, but like I said, I'm only going to be using certain ones, so I don't need to have them all. It's just making it difficult for me to actually get through the menus. Excuse me, I just have a swig of my coffee. So yes, I want to go and start working on a new map, and that's going to take me a day or two to get that done, maybe a few days, and then we're going to start again with a new republic. Because for the amount of time, like I said, for the amount of time it's going to take me to redevelop and redo all this, there's been, just in doing these roads alone, I built, oh, this is something interesting I meant to mention. I did actually mention it on one of the recordings. I built a bypass out of gravel. Now, there was a gravel road all the way down, so what I did is I built a bypass coming along, with the intention, because I'd seen the one-way roads, with the intention that eventually I'll make them both one-way. But in the meantime, it allowed me to tarmac this whole road, to asphalt this whole road, because the traffic could come down here. Now then, where's he gone? I've just seen him. There he is. You notice how he's using that road? His maximum speed is 60 kilometers an hour. Now, if we go and find a faster truck, of course there's nobody on this road at the moment. There we go. He's using the asphalted road. Now he can do 95, but the one at 60 will always come down the gravel road. It's just something I noticed. If you've got two roads next to one another, your faster vehicles will use the asphalted road, whereas your slower, anything that does 60 or less will use this, including construction vehicles as well. So you can create a bypass that has functions for different vehicles. Just thought that was interesting, possibly useful. But the idea was that eventually I was just going to go and asphalt the other side and then just have one-way roads. But oh my god, just doing these roads took me hours and hours and hours and hours. Oh, I don't like the setup. It's just too. It's just taking too long to get anything done. Not only that. Oh, I can show you these lights now. You see, I toned these down. This is still a bit bright, but I got the school working. So yeah, I don't mind that. That's quite nice. I don't mind a little bit of a sort of bluey greeny tint. They were just too bright blue for me. Yeah, I want to spend more time making mods, learning, because I'm trying to learn Blender, and if I'm doing the time lapses, it's taking me, you know, it can take me up to 7 or 8 hours to record and edit a video. I can't do that every day, and it's affecting how many videos I'm releasing. So it's becoming a bit of a problem for me, because I just can't. I haven't got the time to be editing them, faffing about trying to sort all the video out. It's just that much footage as well, and I'm trying to be sort of limiting with how much footage I'm recording, but I think from now on, as much as I like doing the time lapses, I'm going to cut them out, not 100% completely, but for the most part, I think I'm just going to play with the game on play, and we're going to go and build things. I'm going to plan things out. I don't know if you're familiar with Rever's streams, Rever's games. The way he does it, I quite like, although he plans more out than I would like to do, because he's got absolutely tons and tons and tons of stuff planned out. I don't think I'd want to plan quite as much as that. I like to watch him doing it. It's just I like you say, you play the game your own way, and you know, I think it would behoove me to play a little more like that. So building things in real time, rather than try to do them all on time lapses and try to get everything done in one go. That will also mean that I'm not over expanding too quickly, because I can keep an eye on things as we're growing and sort of build things here and there. Like I said, I'm going to do a different map. I'm going to do an easier map. I may have another bash at this map at another date, maybe later on, once the ships are in and we've got the cable cars and things. Quite a good map, but it's a little bit too challenging. Well, I say it's not really challenging. It's just a case of I haven't got the planning right. It's badly planned. That's what the problem is. It's me that's dirty. You know, it's not the map. It's not actually the map that's at fault. It's the way I've done things. Having these farms in here is not conducive to having a good network of deliveries and things. What I should have done is had a distribution hub in the middle somewhere, and then bring stuff in and then distribute it out, built up along the river edges. But yeah, and then had all the farms down here. That would have been a better way to do it. Could have maybe even run the grain up by train or something. Yeah, I think I'm gonna, like I say, I'm gonna make an easier map for the next one. Make it a bit more, just so we're not as crammed in. Any other comments? Somebody did comment but then deleted the comment. Why'd you put so many trees in? I can't see a damn thing. I know, I go a bit mad with the trees. Well, it's not really my fault, because I open this up and, you know, I stick this on and stick it on the maximum and just only tap the button a few times like this, and you think, well, there's a few bushes down there, alright, I'll stick a few beeches in, right, there's a few trees down there, we've got that, and a nice few trees, and then sort of 10 minutes later it looks like this. And it's like, oh my god, you can't see the farm for the trees. Yeah, I wish there was a bit more control over this, because you just, unless you go and put individual trees in, which is tedious and will take me forever. So I wish we had a bit more of a sort of maybe a scale on how dense we want it. We could reduce it down. So yes, I will try not to put as many trees in next time. I do like my trees, but also I'll make sure not to put one near a logging camp. Because as you can see, this side of town is completely bare. Even the bushes, he has the lot. Whatever I put down here, he will come and chop them down. We've got logs piled up around here at one point. Lazy sod. Oh, your trees are up there, go and get them. So yeah, right. I'm going to call it the end of this series. So apologies. I know it's a bit annoying when things come to an abrupt end, but rather than just end it and start another one, I thought I'd give you at least one last episode and a little bit of an explanation. I feel like I've learned a bit more. I feel like I've got a bit further with it. We're definitely, well, because since the start of this, we've had the mods come out. I've started doing mods myself, and there's loads of new buildings available and things. So there's definitely scope to do things a lot differently. Big radio tower there. I can't. Was that? I don't think that was Jabilski's. I can't remember who made it now. Yes, so anyway, well done to all the mod makers, especially ones I was making their own individual buildings and things. Those are amazing and fantastic and very much appreciated. And we'll see how well the game grows from here, and there's a lot more scope for things to come yet. So I shall see you in a few days with a new map. Thanks everybody again for watching. Give us a like down there if you're enjoying these, and I'll be back really soon. I'll see you then. Bye bye.